All right. Well, we're here. It's another week. It's a new month. It snowed last night up
Hmm.
high. So we got that. There's no wheel this week. We're trying some new stuff right now. So we'll see how this goes. If there's no wheel, no one wants to tune in. Maybe we'll bring it back early. But the goal is to do it every third Thursday of the month now. And that way we can just try to concentrate more on answering people's questions and stuff. Hopefully, you guys caught this week's top five from TC, the All Mountain Free Ride. Bunch of
Hmm.
people crying about how that's not a free ride list, and I was like, it's an all mountain free ride list. A little different. Like if you're looking for straight, really stiff boards, we have a list for that coming. Don't worry.
That's
Calm
coming.
down. You've been a member of the channel for 2 years and you haven't realized this yet. I'm sorry. So yeah. Anyways. So yeah, that's what we got going on there. All right. But we have a super chat from Slushy Shredder. What brands have started as core and have become kook? Also in your eyes, top three core brands. TC, give us that top button. The people need it.
No, I was buttoning up my shirt today actually, and I thought of that. I was like, nah, it's going all the way up today.
It's $200 for him to unbutton it.
Well,
It's the price we
what
put
do you
on
get?
it.
What do you got for your brands?
Well, I mean, I think Burton's kind of the obvious one.
Yeah.
Sims is right up there too,
Hmm.
because they keep selling the license off to other people that just make it worse. You're like, oh my god. So it's there's
Form.
a lot of kooky ass brands that you're like, what the hell are you doing? Like, how did you get here? But
What
top
decisions
three
did you
core
make?
brands? Oh, totally. Venture Snowboards down in Silverton. I mean, that's probably the most core snowboard brand there is. They split like a couple thousand feet before they go to the factory every day. Like those
Yeah.
guys are next level. So we can't take that away from them. I really dig what they're doing. I think they're super, super solid in that regard. I don't know. What else you got?
I mean, Capita, because they're pressing only their boards in their factory. Well, only snowboards in their factory. So I'd say them, possibly even Mervin as well, just because those guys are like their own weird core of snowboarding where they make their own boards. All those dudes ride. When you start off in their factory, you then can get promoted to be like a sales rep and then just kind of move on from there. They also promote their pros once they kind of retire into like more management roles there to keep their brand the way it is. So I think that's huge as well. Um, and then I don't know for a third yet. I'm trying to think of. I mean, could say
Nitro's
like just
pretty
night.
damn core. I mean, they
I
won't
was
even
gonna say
sell direct
Nitro.
online.
Mm-hmm.
So you got
Nitro
that
or
going.
even Nidecker just as a whole. Just
Oh,
owning
all
both.
the Nidecker brands.
Yeah, I
You mean
mean,
75% of the snowboard industry?
yeah, I mean, like the one you could say would be the least core would be like Jones because they make split boards that turn into skis. But like apart from that, like they're still extremely core as well. So like I don't know,
Yeah.
Nidecker as a whole would be a huge one.
Oh,
I
Rome's
mean,
up
any of
there
the,
for
like
sure.
Wired up in Canada, like definitely
Yeah.
an honorable mention in there. Nerd, those dudes, like all those small ones that are really designing their own stuff, trying to partner with like companies that can actually, or trying to partner with riders that have been there forever, know what they want. That just classic snowboard, really.
Yeah. I mean, it really depends on how you look at it. I don't know. It's my favorite are the companies that start off, they want to be core, they work with kooky influencers, that backfires, and then they reach out like that shitty brand Pouster that reached out to us, sent us a generic ass email. They're like, we really value all the skiing content you create on your YouTube channel. And it's like, what, us shitting on it? Go back and work with Snowboard Jesus and Half Cab King again, you fucking poser ass fucks. Yeah, so all right. All right, next question. Super chat from Gringo Brian. Wax your balls and structure your boards. There's red leaves on the trees in 80 days until shreddy time. Hashtag manly Camber. How do you pronounce that, TC?
That's Camber.
That's Camber, not
It's,
Camber. It's
it's
not
Camber.
Camber like Kaylee. Yeah.
No, that's
All right.
that's if that family that never left your hometown, they decided to name their daughter Camber. That's how they spell it.
If you have a daughter named Camber and it's spelled like that, she's a stripper. I'm Camber Cinnamon Twist. Come stare at my brown hole.
It'll cost you extra.
She's day shift too.
Yeah. On the Tuesday. That's when they have a buffet.
She's a school bus driving stripper mom.
Mm-hmm.
I've dated a bunch of girls that became school bus driving stripper moms. It's like they wake up and they drive the school bus and drop the kids off at school. So they're done by 9, and then they strip from 9:30 to about 2. And then they're back to drive the bus from like 2:30 to 5.
That's a working lady right there.
Yeah. All right. We got this super chat from Tragon. What board has the manliest camber? I mean, I'm really going with that Arbor Candle Rain. It's like this big. It's so much.
I mean, the Nitro Beast has a lot as well.
It does.
So does and Jones Tweaker Pro has like twice the amount as the regular tweaker. So that's a step up for sure.
The Liptech Rad Ripper is full of camber too. And when I put it flat, the arc of it was so high. I'm pretty sure I could get like 3 fingers under it. It's like, damn. So yeah. Okay. We'll take this question from Don K. Hey, Angry, want to add a carve/pow board to the quiver. Was looking at the new Jones Storm Chaser and the Battalion Chameleon. Any other suggestions? You probably don't want the Storm Chaser, honestly.
No.
You'd want to go with a Storm Wolf over that.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's it. What do you have for this man for other suggestions?
I mean, if we're talking like hard carving, I would probably go with like the deep fake, because you're still going to get some of that pow float with it, but you're going to carve extremely hard on that board. Otherwise, like, I'm trying to think what's like going to really excel.
The Karua pencil sticks out to me, and you could do like a Nidecker thruster too. If you were looking at Amplid, maybe like a Morning Glory or a Soli Grail, even a Safari.
Signal Tail Gunner.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, you could possibly do the Ravine Pro, or that's what it is this year. Not the Select. Yeah, the Ravine Pro. It's not Select. Yeah. So the Ravine Pro, I mean, that's got that 3D shaping to it, so that could work as well. It's definitely going to be on the stiffer side for power riding, but
yeah,
you got options.
So many options. Okay, let's see. We got RC5. Hey guys, I'm an older guy, 57. Ravine or Passport, looking for torsional flex and stability, resort riding on the East Coast in the Finger Lakes and Gore Mountain. Your thoughts or other recommendations? Thanks. I mean, both of those are solid.
Yeah.
They're both kind of equal in their flex too.
Mm-hmm.
It's like,
I think the Ravine might have a little bit of a softer nose than the Passport, but
I feel like the Ravine's a little more torsionally soft too.
Mm-hmm. Especially, because I mean, I think it's going to take that Passport a little bit longer to break in than the Ravine. So depending on how much you're riding, if you're not going to ride 30, 40 days this year, maybe go Ravine. Otherwise, the Passport will take a little bit longer for you.
But I think you're on to 2 choices that are solid there. The only other option I'd throw would be a Libtech Dynamo, just because with that slight dip in the middle, you're going to get a little more play in there, and it'll be a little more damp just because of the construction. And that'll fit right in that same category. So,
yeah.
All right. We have Menos Fakaros. Hey guys, my daily is a Yes Greats, and my early season /pow/slush board is a Solomon Dance Hall. Hard, icy snow, rarely any powder. What am I missing here? Love my Union Ultras. 203 BBC.
Yeah.
I mean, the big thing would be like if you wanted to go to something with a little taper, a little more directional, I would go to like an all mountain free ride board. And we just put out that top 5. So I'd say just go look
Yeah.
at that. There's 8 boards in there that'll get you dialed in, and you can kind of pick and choose from there. But that's
Yep.
the way I would go, because then you would have something that's more free ride focused. You got the greats, which is freestyle, all mountain freestyle, and you got your dance hall, which early season pow slush. You're good. So yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So, all right. And then we got Senior Kobe. Not that you need my validation, but TC, you're killing it in the reviews this year, bro. No more speed runs.
No more speed runs. It definitely has helped doing these live streams every week where it's like, okay, getting more acclimated to just talking on camera and really not getting any feedback. It was weird at first, for sure. Being like, I don't know what else to say here, but we're getting better at it. I mean, when you do 110 of them just in reviews alone, and then you get another 20 top 5s, you better get good out of this. This would suck.
Yeah, no, I mean that's the whole thing. Is like, I knew taking you on, I was like, well, there's a learning curve, and you've got to get through the learning curve. And then once you get through it, and you read all the comments where the people shit on you, you either get better or you quit. It's just how it goes.
Yeah.
So and yeah, so there's that. All right. Okay, we'll take this one down here from Jesse. Have you guys tried the new battalion boots? Didn't try, because someone that literally tries a boot and reviews it for you, it's fucking pointless. You get some fat fuck from Bend, Oregon that's 200 pounds and a size 9 and out of shape, and you take me, who's a size 10 and rides Colorado and is 200 pounds and has about 4 or 5 inches on him. It's going to flex completely different. What we have instead is boot breakdowns. And that's going to go through all the features, kind of a rough guess of what the flex will be like, how we expect it to break in, where it's going to break in. We measure like liner height, instep width, stuff like that for you. And that video will be premiering tomorrow afternoon for the Battalion Acid Boa. So, or if you're a member of Angry Snowboarder VIP, I dropped it this morning. So, yeah. All right. From Thomas Acosta, how much overlap is there between the Capita Mega Merc and Megadeth? Is it worth to try and scoop up a Megadeth if I can manage to find a sick deal? So there's overlap in the two of them, but like the Megadeth is your coffee and cars car where you bust it out to go to the meet and you hang out. You maybe put like 5 miles on it, and then it goes back in the garage. Where the Mega Merc is like, well, this is my Aventador that I use to go to the grocery store and pick my kids up from soccer and also blow donuts in front of people's houses that I hate. That's kind of the difference between these two. It's your money, so it's your call if you want to go that route. But frankly, if you have one, I don't think you need the other necessarily. That's just my take. I'd rather put that money towards more lift tickets and riding more. But
yeah. I think I'm with you on that. They're similar for sure. If you already own one, you probably don't need the other one. Like,
right,
it's definitely the same style rider, but like you said, I'd rather take the Mega Merc out every day than the Megadeth. Like,
yeah,
it's just the way it is.
So the first year Megadeth that I had, our friend Kobe got it, and that is his race board for bank slaloms only.
Mm-hmm.
And he's like, he'll take it out the day before the bank slalom to get used to how it rides, and then he rides that, and then it's like right back into the sleeve until the next one. So,
yep. Yeah, diversify your portfolio. You don't need 2 of those.
Yeah. All right. And then we've got Angel Garcia. Thoughts on Sierra Tahoe being added to the Icon past years? They're just trying to lock down Tahoe and all of that area of California from San Francisco down to San Diego. They want to lock that in so that you're not buying an Epic Pass. They want you going to Mammoth. They want you going to Big Bear. They want you going up to Tahoe to go into Alpine and all their other resorts up there. It's a way to kind of lock you in. I mean, for everyone that's in the Bay Area and stuff, fuck yeah, okay, cool. You know, if you're in Reno and you're on the Icon, now you got another option to go. So I think you only get 7 days with it anyways. So yeah, that's where I'm at. I don't know. They just sent out the email today and I was reading it and I was like, yeah, all right, cool, whatever.
I did not even read the email.
You're like, I don't care.
Yeah.
Our bigger thing is trying to figure out when we're going to Utah. You know?
Yeah.
We're going to go to Utah. We're going to go ride Brighton and Solitude and Snowbird and Pow Mau and shit. So, all right. From IE Dance, we got a super chat. Deciding factors between an Aviator 2.0 from Jones and a K2 Antidote. Any other slight setback, no taper, twin flex, full camber boards with raised contact points. There's Endeavor. The BOD would be the other one that I could think of, but those are 2 boards in your wheelhouse. Why don't you take it away?
Yeah, I mean, like, I think the Aviator definitely breaks in faster than the Antidote does. So if you're looking for something to like kind of break in a little bit faster, you got the Aviator. I also think the Antidote has a little bit more snap and pop to it than the Aviator does, where the board, like the Antidote, rides more aggressive. You can really dig into that edge and like take it really anywhere you want. The Aviator, I think, possibly floats a little bit better than the Antidote does, just because it does have a little bit more of like a rounded spoon on it than just like the kick up, like fenders almost, or I don't know what they even call it, but like just the kick up, because that's past the contact points on the Antidote. So Antidote's going to hold a harder edge when you're carving, that sort of thing. But on the Aviator, you do have that, so a little bit better float and a little bit softer, in my opinion, at least. And then the Antidote's just going to be a little bit stiffer for longer, have a little bit more snap to it. But yeah.
Cool. Yeah. All right. We got a super chat here from Martin Hunt. Super DOA to replace my old Capita Ultra Fear and round out the Quiver. Tweaker Pro plus Megadeth. I love the camber profile of the Ultra Fear, but want a touch more speed / snap, not as gnarly as the Tweaker. You probably don't want a super DOA. You probably want an indoor survival instead. I mean, or if that Ultra Fear, well, it depends which one you had.
Yeah.
But
yeah.
If you really want something that's a little more snappy, rather than a super DOA, I would go with a Spring Break Resort Twin. Instead, because you're still going to get that rocker in the tips. It's going to be noticeably softer than your Tweaker Pro, and it'll still give you that speed. It's still going to have a crazy good finish on it, but it won't be like Megadeth base finish. I think that's the route I would go over a super DOA.
Yeah, I think there's a lot of overlap between the super DOA and the Tweaker Pro. I mean, you're definitely going to have softer nose and tail on the super DOA, but like in between the feet, they're going to ride very similar. So I think it's a lot of overlap. I was thinking just like you were with that Resort Twin, like that was exactly what popped into my mind.
Yeah. And plus you get validated. It's our number 1 all mountain freestyle board. So validation. Everyone's just getting validation. You know, we're just tossing out awards there. So okay. We got this super chat from Beziums. I was done wanting to buy boards, then you had to drop the candle rain first. #N+1. #winner is coming. #spin for slim. #RIPL Stackers Adventure. The answer for snowboards is always N+1, with N being the number of boards you have now, plus 1 more. That's the equation you use to buy a snowboard. Besides, we're all going to die, and everything we own is actually rented, because when we're dead, people will wear your clothes, live in your house, and drive your car. So who cares? They're going to ride your snowboard after you pass.
I hope so.
God, I hope so. When I die, people are going to come in here to clean out this place and be like, we keep finding fucking snowboards. Like non-stop. All right, from IE Dan, what are your all's top 3 for Colorado hike to steep chutes and 10 to 20 foot drops in as many snow conditions as possible, besides the Alchemist and Flagship? Oh, I thought you were actually looking for hike to steeps and chutes.
That's what I thought too at first.
You want boards?
Yeah.
Oh, that's easy. I thought you wanted me to like tell you how to find some of this terrain.
That's what I was like. I don't really want to give you my good spots. I'm gonna be honest.
Either.
Like,
I'm not blowing my shit
I'm
out. I'm
thinking
not one of
about
these
it.
jackass motherfucking influencers that'll post a video on how to get to the goods and then it gets blown out. And you get all these dumb fucks out there floundering around and fucking hot tubbing in the landings of shit.
Either that or I do tell you how to get there and you get lost because it's not exactly because it's my marks are like this tree that kind of looks like this, but then there's also one that looks like that too.
Yeah, if you see the tree that looks like a giant dick, you've gone too far and you're gonna die.
Yeah, like all right, like big drop board.
Yeah.
My first thought was the Ravine Pro because that thing has got some landing gear in the tail for sure. The Pick Your Line Unink is awesome as well. Like I think that board will pretty much handle anything. And then, what's another? You said No Alchemist. Deep fake? Like, I mean, that's a solid
ride deep fake.
Yeah.
Once again, you'll get validated. It's on the top 5 list. That thing's absolutely solid. Right? You can't go wrong with that deep fake in there. The new E-Jack knife from Libtech, that's a really good one. You could do a rig too, but the E-Jack knife's got slight 3D shaping, so it helps funnel that pow out. It's a little more damp in there. And then I was really digging the Assassin Pro. It's lightweight though. That's the one thing. Like you drill something, you're gonna fuck that board up. And being in Colorado, like we have a notoriously shallow snowpack. Like you drill a rock, you're going ass over tea kettle. But that board was fun. Like that one was a super, super solid one in my opinion too. So
yeah.
All right. Take this next super chat from B Shreddy. Binding suggestions for a Rome stalefish. If you want to ball out, Katana Pro. Otherwise, the Katana, both from Rome, are really solid. You're on a budget. You could even slap a Vice from Rome on there, and it's fine. I would also think like a Union Force. So Jones Mercury would be fine. What do you have, sir? I stole it from you.
I mean, I would go like a Highlander, like from Solomon as well, just because I think if you went hologram, it's going to be a little bit too soft with that softer heel cup on it. And then I was also, I mean, like the Yes Unink would be a solid choice. What is that?
I found a file with a bunch of screws on it. Sorry, I'm just playing with things.
Yeah. I think that's enough. I think he's got them.
Magnets. How do they work?
Nobody knows. It's wizardry.
Physics and shit.
Physics and shit.
Physics and shit. Let's see. Take this one from Insulin 801. Will the rain that destroyed Moab this summer translate to snow that destroys Alta this winter? I don't know. You're talking about months down the road. NOAA put out their prediction, and like certain areas are definitely in warmer area, lower precipitation, which means less snow. And so I think Alta and like Snowboard area was looking like they're actually going to get hammered. So we'll see. Let's see. Yeah, so that's kind of it. All right. I'll take this one from Marcus. Best carving boards for 2025. You got to wait for that list, bud.
Yeah.
We got 2 different lists. We got your soft resort carvy cruisers and your hard carvers. So, you can go out there and fart carve your heart out.
You can.
All right. We got this one from Gringo Brian, who's donating blood today. Not semen, though, for once. He's donating blood. Which board to pair C8s with? The 2022 Wired Chase or a 24 Nidecker Megalite? And you could do both on that. I'd probably put them more towards the Megalite.
Yep.
Just because if they're the new C8s, they've got that C9 strap on them. If they're the older ones, it'll still work.
No, it's got the C8 strap. Got the C9 high back.
All right. Yeah, that's it. It's the C9 high back. So it's more responsive. All right. Tony Tokes, I got the LibTech Jamie Lynn last season, but got no pow on the East Coast. Will it float if I take it out west on a deep heading? I mean, if you're talking the short wide, yeah, you might want to set it back a little. It's very wide. Going to be great in low angle. Steeper stuff, not so much.
Yeah, I didn't have a problem with it when I rode it. But you'll be fine.
I rode it one year in like a 14-inch day, heavy stuff up at the base end, and I couldn't get it to sink.
Yeah.
Also, fucking stomped a rock drop weight forward and didn't tomahawk. It somehow just pushed through, and I was like, wow, all right.
That's Camber, baby.
Oh, yeah, totally. Okay, so we got Keon Ulmer. What's good, fellas? Out of the Westmark Camber from Arbor, the Yes Standard, and the Solomon Dance Hall, which would be the best for Breck conditions in late January? # Baltimore snow. The most versatile out of that list will actually be the Standard.
Mm-hmm.
Because you don't know what you're going to get. You could get sunny Bluebird for a week straight with firm ass snow in the morning and a little softer by midday. You could get pow on top of pow. You could get dust on crust. You could get it all scraped off by families of fat skiers. You never know. I think the safe bet in that situation is the Standard.
Yeah, if you can only bring one, the Standard. If you could bring two, I'd bring the Standard and the Dance Hall.
Yeah, that's what I would do. Yeah. And when in doubt, if you're coming to Breck and you do need to try something out, you can always go to Underground. They have Karuas and Strondas that you could demo along with Jones and Burton, or you could go see our boy Creston over at Base Mountain Sports and see what they have in their demo fleet. I got to talk with him and see what they've got, so make sure we can whore it right to everyone.
Yeah. Well, and then he can, and then if you go to Creston, he's right across the street from the lift, so you can just hop
literally you walk across the street and you're on Peak 9.
Mm-hmm.
And the secret to that one is you go when you get off because you have to take the bunny hill chair. Most people will want to go over and get on the chair that they see to the right as they get off and like go down to that. Go to the left and go over to Peak 10. Go there first. That's the secret. So do that. Okay. We got Scrap. What are your thoughts on the Nidecker Supermatic bindings? They work.
Yeah.
For it's a quick concept. I don't have any out of the box right here. Otherwise, I'd take them out and talk about them. They work. They're not going to be for everyone, but they're leaps and bounds better than that Clue bullshit. They are a little different with how you step in. So like, you kind of go in like at a weird angle, and then you have to put your weight down on your heel. So yeah, it's a different movement in there, and they take a little more to dial in, but they're better, in my opinion. If you don't want to go step on from Burton because you're limited on boot options, they ride like a regular binding. They ride great, in my opinion. There's a few things that I don't like that they're working out. Like there's a big gap between the high back and your boot. But I don't run forward lean, so you kind of have to adjust the forward lean. But when you adjust the forward lean, getting in is a little weirder. Your pant leg gets stuck behind the high back too. That can be, and it can also get stuck in the strap, and that's kind of weird. But they work. I mean, they're for recreational riders.
Yeah,
you're not. I love people who are like, I ride really hard, and I was like, in your mind, you ride really hard. In reality, dude, you're cruising the blue groomers. I mean, that's kind of it. A lot of moving parts in them, though. A lot of moving parts. They're heavier. They also have a really big dead spot underfoot.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
But I mean, like once you figure out how to get in them, it's fine. It took me like a day or so, but I mean, if I owned them, it would just take that day, and then it's like, okay, here's how you do it. If you're looking for a quick step in system, it's your best option, I think. But I mean, if you're looking for a real binding, like with response, all that stuff, you got to go get a real binding done.
Yeah, even though they came out with the Carbon Supermatic, I rode it. It's a little more responsive in the high back. It's a little lighter weight. It's still, you're not going to get the same response you get from a traditional binding. And that's the whole thing with it there. All right. Well, we got this super chat from Orion. When's the meetup this season? I'm tempted. So it's February 20th, 2025 at Ski Cooper. You have to buy your tickets 2 days in advance to get the $30 price tag on it. The radar gun did show up. We're going to start playing with that, get that thing dialed in so we can do the top speed contest. There's nothing like seeing people come up to top speed on a resort that's like this. You're going to have to point it.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's going to be great. I am here for this carnage. So, yep. Okay. We got Labros V. Snatched a K2 passport. Thanks for the validation for the season. Should I grab the K2 bonds to pair with it, or perhaps the now drive bindings? Not the bonds. Go to the additions. The bonds are going to be, especially if you're looking at drives. The addition is closer to the drive than the bond. The bond is the softest of the three bindings. So it's bond, addition, program. You want to make sure that like the addition is going to be the ideal matchup to it. So
I like the drives, but you know.
So okay. All right. And then we got this one from Super Crazy Peanut Butter Dave. Please clarify if possible, what does surfy mean in snowboarding? Loose.
You're able to move a lot, like
More
your lower
fluid.
body, your ankles. The board just wants to like, yeah, just like you said, move fluidly. It's not super rigid. You can like really shift your weight back and forth, side to side, all of that. Pretty much like you can in surfing, where you're not, it doesn't feel like you're locked into the board. Yeah. You got anything else for that?
No, I mean that's it. Like you basically have to over exaggerate your movements when you're surfy in there. You're not getting that precision. So like if you're gonna turn and you're precise, you're putting it on edge and you're going around. When it's surfy, you're coming in, you're using more energy, it's taking more, you're elongating that turn. It might skid a little bit more too, rather than be locked in. And that's it. That's what surfy means. It's just it's a way to flow. Like if you have a really good style and people say it's surfy, it means you're able to flow through the terrain and not having to look like you're mechanical and stuff. Like I am not a surfy rider. I'm very like rigid and stiff, like calculated. So like everything, like someone said it at Thirsty Thursday, like every turn that I made was with a purpose. And it wasn't like, oh, I'm going to go see what happens. It was, you knew what was going to happen. And I'm like, yeah. It's very calculated. That's how I ride. Okay. I like this super chat from RJ Gould. What the hell, Avern? Why am I taking strays on boot reviews? They're breakdowns. They're fucking breakdowns. The 200-pound size 9 rider from Bend, Oregon, killing it as usual, guys. Well, I didn't know you had the same stats as James Beastie from the Good Ride. That's who was taking those bullets. That guy will talk about boots and not know what the fuck he's talking about over and over again. It pisses me off to no end. He's the reason that I made the Boot Fitting 101 series because he was giving such bad advice. And I was like, I want to choke this motherfucker so bad. So now you guys get boot breakdowns because I'm not doing reviews. I'm just at a point where I'm like, no, we need to do this. Okay. We got Wallaby Z360. Yo, Doug, size 10.5 Vans boots. Oh, those are chonky. Canoe Headspace 52. What size katanas Astros? I bought medium large vices on sale last spring, but thinking too small. We'll give it to my you need the large XL with a Vans boot. You're on the cusp with it, but the Vans boots are so bulky, you have to go to the large XL. And basically, instead of pulling them all the way out like you would on the medium and large, you're going to push them all. You're not going to push them all the way in. I think they're going to be one setting. Don't have wait. Yeah. Here we go. So on these, so like basically, there's 3 little ridges usually right here. And this is an older first gen of this, but there's 3. You're not going to have it all the way forward. You're going to be more in the middle on that. You just want to make sure. Unless it's super, super chunky, then you might have to pull the heel cup all the way back, but that's where you're at. All right. Okay. Or Ian, what's the deal with Mount Bachelor being for sale? Bottom lines and profitability. So what I seriously think is happening is that Powder Corp is going to sell everything to Altera, even though they're part Altera, and there's a weird partnership in there. But what it is they're going to publicize that they're offering it for sale, and then they're just going to privately sell it and be like, oh, well, we got this offer, and Altera bought it. And I think that's what it is. But I do think it was a lot of like profit and because they dumped a bunch of East Coast resorts, and part of that is like snowmaking infrastructure, the lack of winters, and they're like, this would be better suited for mountain biking, which isn't where we want to be, and so there's some stuff going on there. You got anything to add to that one, sir?
No, I haven't. We talked about it earlier this week, and I was like, I don't really know what the hell's going on, but it is what it is, I guess, at this point. Like, just everybody's gonna buy or get bought by Megacorp at some point, it seems like.
Instead of multi-pass, it'll be Mega Pass.
Yeah.
Lilu. Mega Pass! Also, The Fifth Element's a horrible movie. It really is.
I've never seen that when I was like 10 years old.
Best movie is The Professional. I don't care what anyone says. That's the best movie. Gary Oldman's insane in that. All right. We'll take Luke. Still on that ride, Peace Seeker. 5'11", 220. Is the 150 enough? Currently on a 51 Super Pig, but she's getting old. I would go up to the 55 on the Peace Seeker in that, just at 220. Yeah. I think you'll be happier with that.
Yep, I agree with you on that one.
Yeah. All right. Okay, we got Stay Anonymous. Jones Flagship, K2 Passport, a ride moderator for a Rad Dad all mountain board. Want something more directional than the Shadow Band and the Merc. If you want that similar flex and feel of your Shadow Band, but more directional with more taper, that's what the moderator is. That's literally what it is. All three of those are super solid. All of them fit in that category. Each have their pros and cons. Like, I think the Flagship will be the most damp ride out of that with that choroid in the tips now and stuff in there.
No, that's a regular Flagship. There's no choroid in that.
I thought there was choroid in the nose on that. Like, it's
in
not
the Pro.
as big. It's only in the Pro? You sure?
Yep.
I thought it trickled down for this year.
Nope.
Maybe I'm wrong. I don't know. I rode 100 boards. Sometimes you forget things. But I still do think the Flagship will be the most damp out of those boards. But I think the moderator will be the one that takes the longest to break in out of those three. I think just the way it's designed. I mean, I own a Shadow Band. I know how long it took for that thing to break in. So, but when it comes through, like if you're going to go crust busting, this is the order I'd go in. Moderator, Flagship, kind of tied, then the Passport. And then in terms of pop, the most snap's going to come from the moderator, then the Passport, then the Flagship. So, you have anything you want to add?
I mean, yeah, I think you're right there. Like overall, I would probably go moderator, Flagship, Passport out of those three. If you're just like chilling all mountain riding with the fam, that's what I would do. Yeah.
Okay. Super chat from S2000 guy. Avery and TC, if you can only pick one do-it-all board to ride for the entire season, would it be the K2 Passport or the Libtech Dynamo? 59 wide over the 56 wide for 180 pounds. Rock on. I mean, I'm going Passport.
I am too.
That's me, and I would go with that 59 wide.
Mm-hmm.
Just a little more length, a little more edge hold in there.
Yep, that's exactly what I'm thinking.
Yeah. Okay. Looking for stuff. And to follow this up from S2000 guy, I've noticed the YouTube replies getting less angry. I'm thinking in my head, that's a TC reply. Either you're getting softer or you gave TC the password to drop replies. Things like, no, if TC replies, it says -TC. When I reply, trust me, there are some fucking brutal ones. I've gotten to the point where people have just gotten stupid, and I'm like, you know what? You're a waste of time. So I just block people. I'll be honest. I'm just blocking people if you're fucking retarded. You're saying stupid shit. You got nothing. Like I had some dude trying to tell me that the all mountain free ride category top 5 that came out wasn't free ride boards and shit. Motherfucker's got a video of him riding E-Bass Pow in someone else's track going straight. You didn't even get speed to go out and spray. Shut the fuck up, you fucking piece of shit. Like, yeah, I've just, like, I had some dude defending clues last night. Goodbye, you're done. I don't give a fuck. Like, I've hit a point where I'm like, stupidity, goodbye. Like, it's there. Like, if anything, I've taken on more of a condescending tone. Like, I just keep telling people, I was like, that clearly sounds like a skill issue, not a gear issue. Do better. And they get all pissed. Getting a lot of people like, well, if you don't have video of you riding, I can't validate if you actually know how to ride. And I'm like, well, then you don't trust me. I don't care. I don't need your validation. I put the information out there. It's there. There you go. Show
We
up.
made the award, not you, bud.
Come out to Copper. I'm there 5 days a week. I'm probably 5 feet away from you. I'm the guy that goes faster through the scary sections. I'm the guy that sprays you, and I'm the guy that keeps screaming, get the fuck out of my way. I'm the guy that doesn't call my drop when I'm in the park and cuts you off. Eat a dick. I don't care. TC's the nice one, though. Not going to deny that. He's the nice one. All right. We got this super chat from Adel. I bought a used Karoo bullet train online, and there are 2 base bumps that look like they were created by screen bindings too tight. Will this affect the way it rides? That's exactly what it is. Somebody torqued that.
Somebody used the wrong screws.
Probably.
Yeah.
Yeah. They didn't use a 5. They probably used the clue screws.
Or they changed screws from manufacturers or something. Like they put in like a Jones screw and like a
Union or something.
Like Ride probably, because Ride had that metal disc, depending on the one, and I'll go straight through a board. Seen that. So
here's the secret. Flip your board over if you've got a heat gun lightly, or if you got an iron, a waxing iron. Run the iron over it a few times like you're waxing it. Take a rubber mallet and hold the board down with like your left hand, if you're right-handed, or your right hand or your left, whatever. Hold it down and just whack it, and you'll push that insert back in a little bit. You'll be fine. It's not the most ideal fix, but it'll work.
Yeah.
Because otherwise, if you take that in to get it ground, they're just going to have to grind it much to make it level with the rest of the board. And then you're just taking material off the base you don't need to. So try to heat it up and just hammer it back down a little bit with a mallet. I mean, I've done that before. I remember one time Battalion sent me a sample that had the wrong inserts for some reason. So they were like shallower. And I tightened it down, and the last 3.5 turns, and I was like, I hit the last half turn, and I was like, it doesn't feel right. Flipped it over, and it was just like, I was like, God damn.
I've seen people do it on the track system a lot, actually. They just put a regular screw in the track, and it just goes straight through it.
Well, with the track system, it's funny when it starts to bump out, and you can see the whole thing bumping all the way out. So. Okay. Take this super chat from Scott1986. Can you get different footbeds for the Nitro Team bindings? I'm slightly concerned I won't like the 3-degree cant. Hashtag Gorbs, a good friend. Hashtag my knees suck. No, you're stuck with what you get with those. But if you don't like canting, maybe make your stance a little narrower.
Yeah.
That might help you. Okay. Then we got a super chat from Pollock Rocket. Mega Merc versus Chameleon for a Rad Dad style guy, 5'11", 10.5 boot, 195 pounds, competitive athletic builds, 57 or 61. If you're looking for more, freestyle, 57, but the Chameleon ain't going to give it to you. The Mega Merc will. On that. With the Chameleon, I would say go 61. With the Mega Merc, it's dealer's choice. If you're looking to play around more, go 57. But if you're looking to haul ass and lay trenches, I'd go to the 61 personally. Plus, you're going to, at that 10.5, you're going to want to widen both. Or I think the Chameleon's actually like kind of a mid-wide to begin with. So, yeah. Okay. This one's for you from Joe Fossity. Ever wear crash pants for park days? Any recommendations?
Yeah, I do every day. Doesn't just have to be a park day. Like, I wear them every day. I like the G-Form ones the best. Those things, I've had the same pair for like 3 years now, and they hold up for me just fine. It's probably about time to get a new pair, but those are the best ones. They make other, like, you want something that's nice and like low profile. You don't want something with all those big giant pads. It just sucks sitting in those and everything, getting on the chairlift. So the G-form ones, nice and soft. I always forget I'm wearing them. So those are the only ones that I've really liked wearing, actually.
So I've used the Burton ones back in the day when they were red in there. The big thing with any crash pad is you want to make sure the way it sits. The big one is a lot of them don't have the tailbone protection. And that's what you really, really want. That's where, like, that's kind of where they fail, in my opinion. If they do not have that little diamond or triangle that comes down over the Cossacks, you're fucked, because if you fall and take that, it defeats the purpose. Like, you want that there. I like the ones that have them like right up on the wings of your hip, but they have the cutout right where basically the underside of that is, so that it flexes in there and stuff. You want them to be able to like yours. I think I rode with you for a full year or two before you told me you wore those pads, and I was like, really? Yeah, actually it was. Yeah, because last year I think you told me that in like December, and I was like, what?
Yeah, like, how's your ass after that one? Because I remember skipping out on like something and just straight down and like bounce back up. You're like, how's your ass? I'm like, oh, it's fine. Got pads on.
Feel a thing. Yeah, I didn't feel a thing, and I was just like,
I won't protect my
and then
head,
you're like, I've, and then I'm like on the chairlift, like poking you, like, what?
Yeah.
Huh? What? And I think Trav was with us. I was like, did you know this?
Yeah.
I didn't know this. So yeah. So it's a whole thing. I mean, the big thing is you want to try them on and see how they fit and stuff. You don't want to look like you're wearing a diaper underneath there.
Yeah.
Like, I've seen people try to get the tightest fit hockey shorts, and I'm like, that's not gonna work.
Yeah. The G-form Burton ones are the ones that I have, and it's just spandex. So whatever size underwear you wear, just buy that size and it'll work for you. Like, but yeah, they cover all the areas that you talked about, and then they have like 2 ones right where your ass bone is, or like each cheekbone pretty much, that's covered as well. That's awesome. So they got you covered. Those are the ones I definitely recommend. Kind of hard to find though, I've been figuring out.
I feel like, well, the problem is the market got flooded with all these shitty knockoff like Alibaba Express. So the big one is this company called Ripple Impact. And they're just, dude, they hit everyone with targeted ads. The ads suck. The products, I've got a pair sitting here. One of you guys gave them to me so I could do a dissection video. They're cheap. They're pieces of shit, but they're $50 or $35 or whatever they are. And I'm like, all the guy did was basically go on Temu and find the shittiest one and slap his logo sewn into him. And I'm like, and I was looking at him and I was like, God, these things just look like shit. And it's like, and I remember I got into it with him, and I was like, he's like, this is what helped me progress as a rider. And I was like, or maybe you could have gotten a lesson because you just fucking sucked. And it's whatever, like all that cheap shit. I'm just like, God damn it. One of these days, I'm just going to come up with a whole line of angry stuff like that just competes with the cheap shit. I'm going to source it at a cheaper deal, sell it basically for 10 cents above cost, undercut everyone, flood the market, kill it off, then kill the company and be like, I put you all out of business. We win. Now go buy real shit. Because that's how petty I am. Okay. We got Ben Samara. I watched the vid on the top 5 free ride, and the Nitro alternator was number 2. How do you think it compares to a Capita Mercury, which is the board I rode last season? It's stiffer, not by much, but it's a little stiffer. The tips, you notice it in there, and it's got more snap out of it because of the camber profile. That's the big thing.
I'd say more fluid flex as well.
Yes, and the tail sinks easier in POW. Just because it does have that slight taper to it. So that's the big thing. I think it's a little more damp on edge too. It just absorbs chatter a little bit better than the Mercury on there. The Mercury can be a little twitchier at slower speeds, and this is like a little more forgiving too.
Yeah.
So, All right. Got Sam Walsh. Hey, Averin, I'll be a lifty over at Aspen Snowmass this winter season. See you soon. Still love my K2 passport. I'm going to give you some advice because you're going to be a lifty. Avoid the clap. Avoid it. Snow carny diseases are a real thing. Don't get scurvy either. Make sure you eat your vegetables. Get your vitamin
And
C.
your oranges.
Yeah,
Yep.
make sure that. And on top of that, also, lifties don't get to ride as much as you think. So make sure you figure out how to maximize your work to ride schedule. That's the whole point. No overtime. You tell them that's the hours that you give. That's it. No overtime. They will try to hose your ass. Don't do it. Good thing is you're at Aspen Snowmass, which means you can come up and ride copper. So come up and ride copper. Yeah.
Learn Spanish. A lot of J1s.
A lot of J1s.
A lot of J1s.
A lot of J1s. Okay. All right. Let's see. We'll take this super chat from Insulin801. LibTech Dynamo versus the Ride Moderator for intermediate daily driver. Both of those are solid. Figure out if you want magnet traction. You don't want magnet traction. Figure out if you want full camber versus C3. There you go. That's a bit. You can't go wrong with either of those.
Yeah,
you can't. So. All right. And Ruff wants to know, is the ride deep fake decent for pow butters? I mean, for TC and I, yeah. For you, you're going to die. We know you got 53 days on snow. You're done. You're cooked, son. We're going to have to make you learn. You're going to have to go faster than you think. We'll get you there. Don't worry.
You're going to have to throw some weight into it, too.
Yep. Ugh. All right.
But yeah, if you got fresh pow, it is.
Yeah. I mean, that rocker in the nose is great. It sets in. You can leverage your weight over it, and it's fine. Like, and it's just got a lot of spring out of it. So when you pop the 180 in to like do a nose butter, it's going to spring you right back out. You got to be aware of that. All right. We got One-Eyed Willie. Any recommendations for a powder board to go with the LibTech Dynamo? Right up in the Pacific Northwest, mostly. Considering the K2 excavator, but just looking for outside suggestions. Excavator's solid. In there, it really depends like what you want out of like your performance from it, but there are some really, really good pow boards, especially that'll be solid for that Northwest snow, like the Retro Ripper from LibTech, that Swallowtail. That board fucks. That's a good one. But like if I would do like a Jones Storm Chaser too, the new one that's coming out, that board's really, really good. Let's see. I'm trying to think.
See, I was going to say the hovercraft. I'm a huge fan. Especially
actually,
in that wet snow.
Oh my God, the hovercraft 2.0 cut through that crust amazingly good in there. And that's where like a Rome Ravine Pro would come in over a regular Ravine, because you also get the 3D shaping in there. That's going to help funnel it out. If you got the money and you really want to be bougie, you could do like a Battalion Surfer too. That's another one. Let's see. Just kind of going through my mind of different pow boards. I mean, I'm partial to the Endeavor archetype. And now that they brought back the one with the inserts, the big thing would be size up one size bigger than you think for that board up in the Northwest. Like if I lived in the Northwest, I would ride the biggest size and the wide in that, which is 60. I think there's one bigger than that. And I could probably squeeze onto that if I had to, which I think it's like a 63 or 64. But yeah, that's what I would do. So
Orca
Orca
floats in wet snow, dude.
Actually, you want something that's unsinkable and it would be like a tugboat. Karua Uber Egg.
There you go.
Reverse camber and it's 3D shaping on that thing. TC and I, we went to Copper in the spring. We got like a 2-foot day, and I was coming down off Super B, like into the race course, and it's steep, but the snow was so heavy. People were just like, there was just people dying everywhere. And all these people look over, and I'm just standing perfectly up, not even like weight back, just tugboating down the hill, just and everyone's like, this guy wasn't going fast, but he didn't sink. He just kept going. And that thing was unsinkable in there. So yeah.
That's a fun day.
Yep, definitely.
The Capita Navigator.
That board's solid.
That would be a fun one, I think, for the
That's
PNW.
Another one though. You want to size up about one size more than you think.
Yeah, because I rode that in the 61, and I wouldn't ride that thing any smaller. Like, I would highly recommend sizing up in that board.
Yeah. Outside of Colorado, I would probably ride that. I think it's a 65 or a 67. Like if I was back at Stevens Pass, I would probably ride that in like a 65,
Mhm.
67.
Yeah.
Just because that's how I am with things like that. You can
Mhm.
also do the ride mountain pig with that split tail too.
Yeah. Yeah,
That's
that would rock out there too.
yeah.
Yeah.
All right. Well, we got a super chat here from Beziums. When you move on, I'm going to clean out your closet of bad ideas and try to see how many idiots will invest again. Hashtag memorial at Castaways. No, we're having a Viking burial at Castaways. They're going to set me on fire in the Blue River and hope that I can make it out to Lake Dillon from there.
You're not even gonna make it to the first little drainage tunnel.
Oh, dude, I'm going to get stuck in the shallow end on the little dam that the kids built. I'm just going to
You're
be
gonna
this
be just
body of
circling,
carcass just burning there.
just circling, just
Oh, yeah.
stuck.
Did I tell you what we were going to do last summer? But then we got word that we would probably get in trouble. We were going to tie off a bunch of inner tubes and inflatable rafts in the river. And technically, it would be an extension of the patio. And we were going to put out like a little line to bring stuff out to people so they could sit out there. We did not get the okay for that. And I was like, we should still do it. I mean, it's kind of a gray area. I was like, pirate ruled supply. We're on water, right? So. Okay. Jeff Wine. Hey, guys. Rome Ravine Pro or a Stalefish for steep to mellow pow and a little carving. You want the Ravine Pro over the Stalefish. Stalefish is actually, while it looks directional and you're like, oh, this should be like a pow cart board, it's more like a groomer cruiser freestyle board more than anything in there. It still floats well in pow, but I think you want to go with that Ravine Pro a little bit more.
Yeah.
Okay. All right, Beach Ready. Any changes, or is 23-24 pocket bacon still valid?
So
Did you preserve it? I got questions here. We're going into 24-25. Like, is it turned green? What's it look? What does it smell like?
I mean, if you cook it long enough, I feel like it should hold. Keep it in a Ziploc bag in your pocket. Like, as long as you don't have like that rubbery fat on it, it's fully just like charred over. I think I'd try it. Dry aged pocket bacon.
Yeah. All right. We got Angel Garcia. Going into Seco in January, should I take my Solomon Dancehall Pro or my Yes Hybrid on Ink? I'd take the Hybrid on Ink personally.
Yeah.
So that's me. All right. We got Ven. Have you ever tried a Cardiff board? I tried to set something up. It was like fucking pulling teeth out of a cat that's not anesthetized. It was painful. It sucked. I'm not going to jump through hoops for companies. So no, I haven't. Honestly, not overly impressed. Every shop I know that got in on the first couple years of it is like, we never sold them. Like, we just had discounts.
They're still sitting on. Never sold one when I worked at Evo. I never saw one go out the door.
Yeah.
They're expensive.
Oh, yeah. Nate wants everyone to know he got his new daily driver set up on sale. A 24 Battalion Beyond Metals paired with the Ride the Vibe colorway on the. That's a fucking killer setup, dude. Like, you are validated. You are validated.
Love that board. And you got the cool color. Or the cool graphic. I was thinking about just buying that because they've been on sale everywhere. I was like, I kind of just want to buy it just for that graphic.
My dog wants to kill something. All right, we got Dan M. Speaking of boots, I've heard you say in older vids you wanted to redo Boot Fit Month. Can we hope for this or not? This was supposed to be done 2 years ago. That's how far behind I've been. Like, we put in so much fucking work when we went on hiatus at the end of this season through the summer where we just weren't putting stuff out. We worked so hard so that now I think over Christmas break this year, I'm going to film everything for it because Ben will be free. Our editor will be free to edit that. And that's the goal, is to have that for the summer. TC's working on our summer content audit for the last few years so we can because just so everyone knows, we audit. We've now started auditing our videos and our affiliates so we can see what's working when, so we know what content to put out, so we've got a better idea of it, so we're not just throwing shit at a wall and hoping it sticks. And so that is on the list of things that to get redone. And I'm hoping that 2025, the summer of, will be the year that I can get those out. I've got a list in the other room on a notepad, and I think there's 43 video ideas for that. And so I want to get all that taken care of so that we can redo that. We're trying to make content like a year out now. And so it's a whole thing to work on that and be in that situation. So yes, that is coming back. All right. Brian P with the super chat, starting the TC Takes Averin shirt shopping fund. You guys have not seen my fine collection of button ups. I don't bust them out for anyone.
You didn't even bust them.
I wear like the same 5 t-shirts in every video.
Yeah, I was gonna say you didn't even bust them out when we had dinner with your family last year.
Oh no, I'm not impressed. Who do I have to? It's my family. They could take me to a 5-star restaurant. I don't have to impress anyone. I'm showing up how I want. I have hit a point in my life where if I'm not comfortable, I'm not doing it. Like rarely. I mean, I wore my black pants, like my normal shit, with an untucked button-up shirt to my grandmother's funeral, and I wrote a speech for it and got up and talked in front of like 300 people. And I was just like, all these people in their suits and shit, and I'm just like up here looking like I just rolled out of bed, and I'm like, that's how grandma would have taken me. I don't give a shit. Oh. I thought that was funny when we went to the Carlin, and like you and your lady showed up, and you're like all dressed up, and you're like, God damn, Averin is like still wearing the same thing he was wearing yesterday. It doesn't even look like he shaved. I don't care. I just don't care. I always think back to a friend of the family, John Allison. His nickname was Cubby. He was goddamn fucking legend with the shit that he pulled. Like, I want to talk about a classic John Allison story just to give you a frame of mind. He was a fucking wild child, and one of the things that he used to do when he was in high school was go down to the bar and pick fights with older guys for fun. But he was crazy, and in a good way. So he's working this non-union job for a bunch of Italians who had some connections, if you know what I mean. And there was a drain plug that had to stay in for something, and it's down about 35 feet in this hole. And as they're leaving, the thing pops, and without skipping a beat, he jumps the 35 feet down, lands, picks the plug up, takes a hammer, and just swings it right in front of everyone. And he's like, that won't come out, and just gets up, and he's like, see you on Monday, and just gets in the truck and leaves, right? Mm-hmm. Well, the bosses of the boss show up, and they're all in their suits, and show up in their Cadillacs, and they're like, John, we heard what you did for us, and we just want you to know if you ever need anything, we'll be there for you. And he's like, yeah, okay, whatever. Doesn't think about it. A couple years later, he gets in an accident and breaks his back. And the first week he's out of the hospital, I mean, he fucked his back really bad. This package shows up from an anonymous delivery, not like UPS FedEx, like just anonymous truck just shows up. And he's like, okay. He opens it, and there's $1,000 in $100 bills inside of it and a bag of cocaine. And all that said was, we didn't forget about you. If you need anything else, just reach out. And that's the type of guy he was. And when he was doing construction, he's working on the Buffalo Zoo one time. And one of the bears is in heat, and it's so he starts going back at it, and it can't see him, but it starts thinking that there's a male over there. The damn thing climbed up out of the enclosure trying to get to him. Mm-hmm. And the zoo had to tell him that he wasn't allowed back because they'd never seen anything like it. He was a piece of work. But when he died, his whole thing was, come as you are, I don't care, right? So you show up, and You had bikers in their leathers. You had people in suits. You had businessmen. You had the mob there. You had everything. And you looked around at it, and it was standing room only out to the front yard of the Catholic Church, which he wasn't Catholic either. That was the funniest thing. He convinced the Catholic Church to let him do his funeral in there. That's the type of guy he was. And then, like, afterwards, the priest was like, well, we had some really colorful people in here today. And they were like, I think we have to go with the come as you are approach on this. So, that's my take on life. And that happened when I was 18 years old. He passed. And so since then, I've been like, I just don't care. I literally don't care. Like, who do I have to impress? Nothing matters. We're all going to die. We're worm food. We're living on rented time. Fuck, it doesn't. It's the nihilist in me. So if I do dress up, it means that I wanted to, because I don't care. My brother's wedding, I tried to get out of even going to it, show up, and the guy that was supposed to be the ring bearer didn't show up, so I had to be the ring squanch. I wore a Star Trek costume from the 60s of this white furry Yeti, and I had the rings in a briefcase handcuffed to my wrist. And I had to walk around in like 90-degree heat in this thing for my brother's wedding, because it was it was also a Big Lebowski themed wedding, so that was even more hilarious. A lot of bowling shirts.
Yeah, I can see that.
Yeah,
I've never heard of a Big Lebowski themed wedding.
The dude abides, man.
I mean, it would be a fun wedding to go to, I think.
They didn't call them White Russians; they were Caucasians.
Did anybody dress up as Jesus?
No, but we had a flower boy.
Right.
Man, I don't know what he was, but he put a dress on, which was even more hilarious.
Right.
And there's my mom's side of the family, all mortified, all dressed proper, and we're just like, we don't care. We don't care. All right. Okay. We got Mars. Currently own a nitro dinghy and a spring break resort twin. Am I covered for Pacific Northwest riding this winter? You are validated, my child. You are safe.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, you're good.
All right. Okay. Richard Conway, I'm buying a Capitaz, an all-mountain freestyle, spring break resort twin, or DOA. Love you, Angry. Do not get the DOA. You will hate your life. Just get that spring break resort twin. Do it.
Yeah, either that or a Mercury. Those are the two I would be in between, but not a DOA.
Not a DOA. Yeah. I like this one from Waco. Are we getting angry commentators on natural selection? The idea is there. It depends what's going on. Like, the problem is they'll announce the week window, and I'll be like, oh, okay, we can probably. And then they'll be like, we're doing it in like 8 hours. I'm like, fuck. I got shit lined up.
Yeah.
Also, that's a whole day event too.
Yeah, so, and I mean, I'm going to be honest. I don't know what the hell we would talk about if they have technical errors for an hour and a half or 2 hours again. Like,
yeah,
and then it's like, do we stop the stream?
Wants to do it, but like, I don't even think Bombhole did it last year. They did it that one year, and they haven't done it since.
Yeah. So, I mean, I would like to, but who knows if it's how they're going to do it. I mean, if they're going to pick a place like they did this year where it's like no internet, no nothing, like you got to figure it out pretty much out there on the fly and then lose the feed halfway through. Not going to work. But who knows? I know they won't be back in Jackson Hole, so.
Yeah. All right. Got this super chat from Bezions. What's the best board you've ever ridden that you never want to touch again? That's a good question.
Best board you've ever ridden but don't want to ever ride again? Like,
I'm glad I don't ever have. And I've been thinking about this. The first year K2 Jib Pan, when it had the bat-shaped Harshmallow in it, love that board, but I'll never have to ride it again because it just doesn't exist. So much camber in that thing. That board came out at the right time when they were putting weird additives in it, and it had that metal torsion fork in it. I hit a roller off the chair at Winter Park. This is how long ago it was. I had to go to Winter Park to ride this fucking thing. And in the preseason, that's where they did the preseason demo before Loveland. They did it 1 year at Winter Park or 2 years at Winter Park. But I hit this roller, and the level of compression would rival like that day when I was on the Candle Rain with you and Petey and you watched me. I took a roller probably like 40 feet down, and I shit you not, I was at least 15 feet in the air from flat. Like there was nothing. Like that board came back, and Rob Howland was the K2 rep at the time, and JP was the sub rep before JP became the main rep. And they were like, "What you think?" And I was like, "Holy fuck!" And they were like, "Yeah, that little something." And I was like, "That was next level dumb." And that board, and like that memory sticks with me on how snappy it was. And then I ended up buying the next year's jib pan, and I rode that thing into the fucking ground. That's the one that's cut like a shark, bit the tail out of it.
Yeah. Yep.
And I love that board too, but. And it was a different time and a different place. I mean, I think that thing was like a 24.7 waist or something stupid. It had this weird, it was designed. The problem was they called it the jib pan. And it was not a jib board in any way, shape, or form. It was the Japanese team's board of choice. So it was super narrow. It had a ton of camber. It was very responsive. And it was so mismarketed to the West. No one so what I would tell people is like, well, jibbing in Japan just means going up on the side of the highway and jumping off the pillow lines. And people are like, oh, okay, cool. And that's how I would sell it. I had to like invent a story that was bullshit to move a good board. and I sold fuck tons of that deck. And then they fucked it up when they made it the flat to rocker when they went through those weird profiles. But what about you?
I mean, the one that came to my mind first off was like the first iteration of the deep fake when they're like put titanium in the sidewall, but I know that didn't make it to production, but I'm super happy it didn't. Otherwise, if we're talking like production board, I'm going like, honestly, the Orca. Like it was super fun to ride, didn't sink, never need to get on one again.
No, you know,
like, it was
you know how it rides and it hasn't changed.
Yeah.
You'll never have to, you don't have to get on it ever again. We can just keep talking about it.
Yeah, it's a great board. Like they did well. I wanted to hate it. I couldn't hate it. But that being said, I'm still never going to own one, never going to need to ride one again unless they somehow change something on it or it's like comes around in the rotation again where it's like new graphic. It's been 3 years, time to ride it again. Like, okay, I'll do that. But like otherwise, if I have a choice, no, not doing it.
Yeah. Okay, we got this super chat from Max Weber. Riding a 153 Capita Ultra Fear, 25.3 centimeter waist, 10.5 boots, and 12 angles. Would a wider waist benefit me? I jib, but explore the rest of the hill sometimes. I think a stiffer board might benefit you.
Yeah. Because I'm like, that board is semi or like medium wide, isn't it? Like it's pretty.
Yeah, it's basic. I mean, underfoot, it's like 26 something. It's It's not bad. It might even be 27. I mean, you're fine. If you're looking for a little more stability, yeah, it wouldn't hurt you. If you're looking at 10.5 and it's like a Rider K2, you're probably fine. You're in like a Vans or a 32, probably want something a little bit beefier in there. So,
yeah. And I mean, we're kind of beating a dead horse, but you know, I would probably go with the Resort Twin, honestly.
Yeah,
like, that'll get you. That'll be a huge step up.
That's
from an
wider.
Ultra Fear.
That is wider. And
and that'll be a huge step up from an Ultra Fear.
It's going to give you more snap, and I think that's a logical progression in there too.
Mm-hmm.
So, okay, we got Sea Kelds. What's up, fellas? Snow on the ground. I've been on the 160 wide rig all last year, looking for a damp swallowtail pow board to complement it. Thoughts on the retro ripper or possibly something? No, right there. That's what I was going to go with. You already know what the rig ride's like. Just envision that with that construction, that damper ride with a swallowtail. That's where you want to be. Yeah.
Yep.
Okay. We got Jovo D. Hey, I've been riding the Black Snowboard to death for years. Would you recommend trying the Megadeth, Aeronaut, or Mega Merc or something else? In terms of flex, Aeronaut. because you're coming from pretty much the stiffest board that K2 makes. Just got to understand, if you go to the Megadeth, it's going to be ultra lightweight. It's not going to be as stiff. It's softer than the Black Snowboard of Death. Mega Merc is about the same flex, maybe a little more consistent, if you will, throughout, I think. Or I shouldn't say consistent, a little more reactive in the tips. Like especially that nose, because it's just a little more consistently reactive in there. In that. But being on a Black Snowboard of Death and you're looking at trying something new, why don't you check out like a LibTech E-Jackknife? I think that might be something that you might like. Maybe a Ride Deep Fake or a Ride Algorithm. What else do you have for them? Maybe something from Jones or Yes.
I was going to say Stratos from Jones. An Antidote, or you could try an Antidote, but I was thinking more of an Alchemist would be more Black Snowboard of Death level there. Or even
an Antidote.
Even an Antidote would work, yeah. I mean, you want something directional, or you want something like not as directional because there's no taper in it, but like twin directional.
Or directional twin.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So either of those would work for you. Otherwise, like even, have you said anything from Nitro?
No, I didn't. But like a Team Pro kind of comes to mind.
That's what I was thinking.
Go like Burley, even a Pantera, but that might be a little much. So I don't really.
But yeah, Team Pro is exactly what I was thinking. That one was a lot.
Do an alternator.
Could.
Yeah, alternator.
It's going to be a little bit softer, but same idea.
Yeah. So you have options, sir.
Mm-hmm.
So many options. All right, we got Steve Clements. I'm 6'2", 230 pounds, missing 3 fingers, have a 2020 Battalion Omni 162. Love it, but want something a little more camber to carve and possibly a little less 3BT. Will the new Goliath solve that, or should I look at a different brand? I think different brand.
Yeah.
You're that 3BT isn't going to give you the edge bite you want to carve. And like, because it's flat, so the board's basically flat and then it bevels up, it changes that dynamic at the contact points. So if you get something that's more rounded like this, you get a smoother roll edge to edge. Whereas with 3BT, it's like bam, bam. And when you're flat basing, you don't get that edge bite, but like with something that's rounded more like this and it's more subtle, with a very minimal ankle adjustment, you can get that edge to bite again. So I think you want to go with something that's going to be a little bit different. I would say maybe check out Karua's. They've got a few options, something from Amplid. Let's see. Even like a friggin' pick your line on ink or a standard on ink.
I would say check out just the Jones line in general. I'm sure
Yeah,
something.
Stratos,
you still want to stick with this.
Even a flagship, Mountain Twin Pro, even. Like there's. I think you got to leave your wheelhouse and your comfort level because of what you're saying. So you want more camber and stuff. Like the good thing is camber is coming back hard with companies, and they've made it better because they flattened out that middle before it kicks down. So it's like a camber 2.0. So it rides better in my opinion. But yeah, I think you got to go get away from that. You're a bigger boy. You might like a Black Snowboard of Death from Capita too. That's a really good one. Okay. Let's see. All right, we got this one from Connor. Currently riding a Yes Grades, love it. Is the pick your line on ink a good option to finish the 2-board Quiver? Any other wrecks? # European POW, # N+1. This man knows what's up. Yeah, no, if you have a grade, so pick your line on ink is a solid compliment to it. I think go for it. Pull the trigger. You're good.
Yeah. One of my favorites.
Yep. Okay. Okay. Marco Silhart, does the Capita Super DOA have a more pronounced camber than the Capita Mega Merc? No, I think it's the exact same camber profile.
I don't know. I don't think it's
Resort V2,
3.
3. But I'm pretty sure that the difference is twin, directional twin. That's pretty much what you're dealing with there.
I think it's the same, but yeah, I think you're right on that, where it's pretty much the same damn profile.
All right, we got Rastafari. What are your thoughts on Japanese ground trick specific boards like 011, artistic, Rice 28, leverage, etc.? I mean, I think all they did is put P-Tex with a top sheet and a piece of wood that's super thin with a very minimal camber. You got to understand those boards. The reason they're so soft is there's literally fucking nothing to them. There's nothing. Like, in my mind, they're pretty much all the same. Like, it's designed for riders that I'm pretty sure if I gave them a ride kink, right? Just good old fashioned camber with a very, very micro rocker in the tip and the tail would probably be too much for the people that ride those. And that's where I'm at. I'm like, you want to learn how to butter better. These guys that are trying to sell you these classes with them in their garage or their parents' basement or whatever the fuck they're doing in Southern California. And they're trying to do it, and they do like these weird gymnastics routines. Understand this. If you take them off the bunny hill, most of them can't actually ride. They struggle. And I think where you're at, like, get yourself a mid-flex or slightly softer than mid-flex board, traditional camber, or a very small rocker zone in it. And the tips, like the Ride Kink there, like a Rosnell Retox, something like that, a Battalion Disaster, or even a Wally, something that's just a little softer flex. And what you want to do is practice everything on snow, and you want that camber, because what camber is going to do is it keeps you honest, as TC says. If you catch, it's going to shit whip you. And once you learn that edge control, you're going to pick it up a lot better. And then you won't have these weird sloppy looking turns into gymnastics routine things. I think you can pick it up. Like, there are some people that I've seen stuff and I'm like, oh, okay. Yeah, that's actually real talent. And then there's a lot of stuff that I'm like, God, you're claiming it's a 360, but you're already like at 290 before you leave the ground. So yeah. All right. Okay. We got Daniel Naranjo, Rome Katana or Battalion Asteroid Sim. Ask yourself what strap you want. That's where we're at. What straps do you want? And the foot pad's a little thicker on the Asteroid Sim. So if you need more of a damp ride, the Asteroid Sim is thicker under there. It will dissipate that energy. But just ask yourself what strap. They're both super, super solid. So, Okay. All right. We got this super chat from AJ Costanza. What bindings would you pair with the 2324 Marhar Dark Side for all mountain freestyle riding? Union Ultras or Forces? I'd go with Forces personally. That's me.
Yeah.
Love the Dark Side. That thing is a great board. Okay. We got a James 411. Yo, ordered a 155 Ride Peace Seeker. Have the Nitro Team bindings. I plan to swap between that and my daily driver. Are those going to be enough to drive the Peace Seeker, or should I look for something? No, you're fine. You're fine. Yeah. Just the only thing that I would suggest is the high back on the teams is very like straight at natural. You might want one or two clicks of forward lean depending on your preference when you're on that board, just for better edge control. Yeah, that's it. Richard Conway, Capita DOA Spring Break Resort Twin TRS for East Coast. Have Orca for just go get that Spring Break Resort Twin. Go. Do it now. Click the affiliate links. Buy it. You're good. All right. Well, looks like we've got Pat Zaransky up in Leadville looking at getting a deep fake Ravine Pro, Black Snowboarder Deaths are similar for a free ride deck. Anything else I should look at? Hashtag RIP Marhar. Hashtag thanks, Luke. Yeah, Marhar may have gone out of business.
Really?
Yeah, I got some messages from a few people, and it looks like they're selling stuff off, like equipment from the factory. They're keeping it kind of on the DL, I think. They don't want people to know. And I was like, I mean, it sucks because they make really good stuff.
Yeah.
So honestly, for you, Pat, I don't think you want the black snowboard to death, but I'd say get a deep fake or a Ravine Pro. Probably a Ravine Pro would fit your style a little bit better. I've ridden with Pat a few times, so occasionally run into him at Copper or randomly walking around Breckenridge. Sometimes we go to brunch. I'm just saying, I know this man.
Sometimes you go to brunch. Sometimes he orders the Benedict. No.
No way, man. We got the hangover ramen. We were at Castaways.
Okay. Yeah.
I mean, if you're going to go to brunch, don't go to a real brunch spot. Go to a tiki bar. I swear to God, my whole life is now just nothing but an endorsement for my friends' businesses, and people listen. It's weird. Okay.
Everybody's got to have a hype man.
Yep. We got Joe Gunn. Have Chat GPT do some video. Oh my God. Maybe next summer we'll do another round of like what would Chat GPT pick for the best snowboards in certain categories? Like we'll make some more of that. We'll see what we can do there. So all right. Okay. We got Mercs. Hey guys, can you help me decide between a Ride Shadow Band 54, 57? I'm 5'8", fit Rad Dad, 185 pounds, size 9 point. Get the 57.
57 all day.
You're going to 57.
You're going to fold that 54 in half.
No, you won't fold it, but just that 57. Get the 57. You'll be happier in the long run. You'll get more edge hold. We're going to take this question because I know neither of us is going to be able to answer it from Central Calendar. What's a good entry-level women's split for a year? I have no fucking idea yet. We don't split boards are out of our scope of reasoning. We need to get this across the board because after almost 20 years of doing this, people still think I review split boards. I have no fucking clue. That is not in my wheelhouse. I ride flying couches. I'm lazy. I half the time I don't even want to hike 5 feet from the chairlift to get the goods. I'm like, can I skate to it? No, I don't need to go there. I've officially become that guy. So, yeah. Okay. All right. We got Jairus. Hey, happy fall, y'all. Need a recommendation for a cruiser that is easy to ride. Got a crappy diagnosis of arthritis in my back, and I'm not ready to give up riding. Fucking okay. So first off, if you're not on it, glucosamine chondroitin with MSM and hyaluronic acid. Get on it. Second, pop on Instagram, find Mobility Duo, and look for their flexibility videos. You need to keep your back loose. Trust me, I had an arthritis attack this morning in my back. That's the first one I've had in 5 years. But it was there. It was fucking crippling me this morning. I was like, oh, God. And then I went to the gym and my back cramped. So I couldn't do a full workout. But, you know, you got to get some PT. And as long as you don't get sedentary, I know it's easier said than done, but if you take it seriously, you will be fine. Now, to answer that question, you want a cruisy carver? You want something that not everyone's going to have? You're going to go see our friend Andy at the Underground in another couple weeks when they get their Stronda order in. You're going to ask him for the B-Roo. You're going to enjoy it. That's a really good cruisy carver for you. I think you'll be solid on that. You got anything you want to throw into that mix?
Nope.
Okay.
I think he's good.
She. She's an OG. I know her.
Okay.
She sent me cookies for Christmas once. They were delicious. They're butter cookies. Delicious. All right. We got our boy coughing. So I was poking around the Yes Now lobster stuff. Is lobster now just the logo slapped on now? Why not just put it out to pasture? Yes Now and Jones all merged this week into the official Yes brand. So now bindings are Yes. Lobster and Yes are in the same line. The lobster stuff is like more the freestyle side of things, and then the Yes guys are kind of like the all mountain side of things. That's the best way to look at it. All right. We got this one from KM Mountain. Love to know your thoughts on the Mick Wayfinder too, because that's how TC pronounces that. It's not the MC Wayfinder. It's the Mick Wayfinder. 155 for a 5'10" odd average build, experienced rider. 50. Please give us your fucking weight. I don't give a shit how fucking tall you are. For all I know, you could be 5'10" and 400 pounds. Wait. None of this sizing this shit up. Oh, the board comes up to here. No, there's a thing called a side cut on a snowboard and a flex pattern. Fuck. This ain't old straight ass skis. I mean, yes, the Mick Wayfinder will be great in Japao, though. That board fucks in fresh snow.
I would say 160 then, if you're an average build, an odd average build. Probably, that's what I wrote it in. I'm pretty sure it was a 160, and you're going to Japan strictly for POW.
It rides smaller than it is. That's the big
It does.
That nose is so long with the rocker, you effectively lose that because there's a kinked flex point right where it hits the camber in the front. You lose that nose as actual float. It just sort of flexes up. Yeah.
Surfy though, fun.
Alan Poon, am I in the right place? I need validation. No, fuck off. So, okay, let's see. All right, we got Levi Bates. ETA on the Goliath review. Magic 8 Ball says, in the future, it will happen. There you go.
There you go.
Yeah. Okay. Jonas Larkin, yeah, I need bindings Rex. Currently riding my dad's cartels from like 05. Fucking get rid of them, dude. They're probably turning chalky white. Just picked up a Pollock Dispute, mostly ride park. I do like a little bit of stiffness, but also want some playfulness. Ride C6, Union Force, Rome, Katana. Right there. There's 3. I think those are solid. What do you have?
I was definitely going to say the Force for sure.
Yeah.
Go with the Force, the Solomon Hologram, or the KT Bond.
Want stiffness. Stiffness.
All right, you can go Highlander then. I don't know. I think the straps.
District team. District team.
They were the district team. You can do that.
Quantum base with all the other straps, so you're going to get the stiffness you want. So I think that's the better one to go with there. Yeah.
I was pretty good about that.
Yep. Anything else? That it?
Nope.
All right. Michael Perez, hey, thanks for all the great reviews. Would be interested to hear your thoughts on the new cat. Literally, we put the review out like 2 days ago. Like 2 days ago. Just go watch it. It's there. It's there.
5 minutes. You can just think of me going on a 5-minute rant about the board. There you go. I like it. And you get a little personal story in that one.
We got a Corrido 2K. I have an ancient Moro board and old bindings with it. Should I upgrade bindings or get a new board with bindings because of budget issues? All right. You want to ball out on a budget? This is what you're going to do. Facebook Marketplace, right? You're going to go watch a bunch of our top 5s. All right. Go watch a bunch of them. You can watch last year's or 2 years old. That's what you want. So you want the 2024 stuff or the 2023 stuff. You're going to watch a bunch of those top 5s. I want you to make a list of boards that you think fit your category. So you watch the top 5s, then you watch the reviews on those boards. Facebook Marketplace. Set it to a 200-mile radius around where you are. Start searching for those boards. What you're looking for is the board with the bindings and the boots and probably the outerwear and the gloves and the goggles and everything that all fucking match. And here's why. The people that bought their shit that matched thought they could pay to play and be good at riding, right? So they spent a buttload of cash on something. Now, what you're going to do is they're going to be trying to sell this for like 20% below retail. You're going to hit them up and be like, hey, such and such a store is selling that brand new 80% off. I'll give you X dollars offer on that. The reason you're going to do this is you'll look for someone. The other thing is also check their profile and see if they're single. This is a big thing. If they're single and they're selling their shit, it means that their significant other tried to get them into snowboarding and they fucking sucked at it. Also, conversely, could also look at where they live and look at what kind of job they do. If they're like a tech bro, work from home, they're a little heavier set or something. These are people during the pandemic, post-pandemic, that wanted to get out and have a social life and do something. They tried it. The world went back to normal. They failed miserably. This shit is not going to be touched, and you will be able to get something on a budget.
Yeah.
Also, if you're single and you're looking for women, type in wedding dresses, sort by size. There you go. You're welcome.
There you go. And there's dating tips for Avery.
Yeah. The king of being single.
Yep.
Okay, this is a good question from Alan Poon. What were your first boards? Mine was a 56 liquid twin with ride bindings from the mid. Nice. I had a Lamar Adam Merriman Pro model with Moro low backs and a set of Airwalk half pipe freestyles. It was a used setup that I bought at the boardroom in Elegantville, New York for $300. It was $250 for the board and the bindings and $50 for the boots. And I rode the living piss out of it. And that board had this weird shovel tip, and it was the core was like this freaking thick on it, and the camber was like this on it. And I rode the living piss out of it. Those and the bindings, you had to feed it. So you had a release tab on the outside that you popped up, and it was like a hinge that popped up with the ladder, and then you had to pinch down and pull everything out. So you'd have to like line everything up. They were the most ghetto ass bindings ever. I rode the absolute piss out of that shit. And then after that board, I had a Type A, then a Burton Custom, then a Burton Dragon. I think that's the way it went. And now I've had so many boards, I don't even keep track. Half the time I just give them to people. I'm like, you can have it. What about you, sir?
Mine was like a 147 liquid directional it had the orange matching liquid bindings on it as well.
The Exploder 5000s. Because when it got cold, they'd break.
Yep. And that's what happened the first time I used it. It was a used setup, but binding blew up, and then I had to get a pair of Burton freestyle bindings for it. And I used that for like a year and a half, and then got a Burton Burton Clash with the 3-hole pattern still. Yep. And I still have that board hanging up in the garage, actually. And then I put a pair of Forum V1.7s on it. But God. Yeah, they were stiff-ass bindings. I still have those bindings, actually.
Stiff-ass bindings used to just blow apart, too.
Dude, I lost the ankle strap on those.
Understand about like the late 90s, early 2000s? Shit would just blow apart for no fucking reason. Like you'd look at your binding and be like, what the hell? It just broke from looking at it.
Yeah, my ankle strap was gone on that one. I still don't have the ankle strap. Still have the bindings for it, though. But they had the metal heel cup on them. And then I had a pair of, I don't know what kind of, Moro boots, I think, were my first pair of boots. And then I had a pair of Burton Hales that I got for super cheap, like 2 years later. Did you snap
the back spine in those Hales?
I don't know. I'd have to look. They separated where, you know how it had like a clear plastic on it and then it had the other plastic?
Yep.
It's separated from that, so it'd get like snow in between those. I still have those.
I had a set of the first year Hales, and the first day I rode on them, I like washed out spinning a jump and put my feet down to stop me, and the back spine just completely snapped and grabbed my Achilles, and I started screaming, and I was like trying to get my foot out. I ripped my foot out of the boot and the binding on the hill, and there's just blood everywhere. And I had to put Nordica ski boot tongues between the shell and the internal harness because they were just high enough to cover the back spine break. So it made them more rigid. And I rode those for a while, but yeah.
No, I wasn't that big. I was like 7th, 8th grade, something like that.
That was back when I weighed like 188 pounds. God, I miss those days.
Yeah, so it would have been 2008.
See, I think mine were 04. They were like first gen. Because I think the second gen, they fixed that back spine issue. I don't know.
Yeah, mine were definitely not first. And then I had a pair of Sabbats that I actually moved to Steamboat with. I brought those with and then sold them to a buddy for $50, and he ended up using those Sabbats for probably 3 years after that. Those were a good boot. Those were a really comfy boot. Like, maybe the best boot they've ever made.
So, I tried to like Burton boots and I just couldn't. They just never fit my foot right. And I tried, and like I did a lot of work to them. And they're just never. Also, I got trench foot in those hails because I used to go to the bar in them back when I drink. So I'd be in those boots from 7 a.m. till like 3 a.m. every day.
Yeah.
And I ended up getting wicked ass trench foot and my heel callus separated.
Yuck.
Yeah, that was gnarly. I had to like grind everything out and hope that it actually grew back. I can't believe that
That's gross.
it was
That's so gross.
Oh, dude, it was disgusting. All right, we got letters. Totally not having withdrawals. Definitely don't need spins or napalm 380s. Everything's fine. It's fine. Somebody missed the wheel. Does somebody miss the wheel?
Yeah. Just a few withdrawals. That's all right.
All right, we got Colm Buchanan. Thinking of jumping on a plane to Manchester next week to test out the new hip and a giant refrigerator before I book a real trip to the Alps. Go do it. You need to take it easy, but you need to make sure that you're coming off your PT and you're ready to get to a real mountain, because there'd be nothing worse than booking a real trip to the Alps and being like, oh fuck, first day out and you just completely, your hip's so fucked, you blew the trip. Like, at least this, you can get in, see how it's functioning, see how the muscles are working and everything, know if you got to go do a little bit more PT or whatever.
Yeah.
So yeah. Okay, we got IK. What will be your choice for powder days at Steamboat? Battalion Surfer, Nitro Dinghy, or K2 Special Effect? Dinghy.
Really?
Dinghy. It's just flat enough up there. The Surfer's fine. Dinghy will be a little bit better for stomping if we get into any of those like mini drops or shit, or if we're riding with Kenny. If we're riding with Kenny, I want a little more stability. Plus, the new Surfer is softer than the old one, so it's looser, so it flexes more. So when Steamboat gets chopped out, it gets bad. That dinghy will push through it. So.
Yeah, I could see that. I could do it. That mountain gets so fucked.
Oh my god!
Me and Travis were talking about that. We ended up traversing across the whole damn mountain, and it was just mogul field after mogul field. We're like, all right, we'll go into the trees, get away from the moguls, and then like pop out on her, and you're like, what the hell? Like, this mountain is just all moguls, and I forgot about that.
Yeah. Moving down to Summit County, you're like, everything is just like perfect corduroy everywhere.
Yeah, and then you go to Aspen, and it is literally perfect corduroy. Like, not one line touches another. It's insane. And it's like, you get to Steamboat, and you're like, nah, fuck that. We're just going to let the moguls build. Billy the Kid was here, you know? And you're like, oh, God.
That was the one thing I hated about when I lived in Steamboat, was how mogully that mountain was. I hate moguls with a fucking passion.
I didn't realize it forever until I went back, and I was like, oh, God.
No, when you live in it, you just assume that's normal. And then when you move away, like when you come down to, like, because it's always funny when like the P-Tools guys would come down to Summit and they're like, God damn, everything's just so smooth. And I'm like, this grooming is shit right now. They're like, this is great.
Well, it's like, I know when I moved to Summit, like, I didn't realize like how smooth it was. I just realized how much faster you can go, because the runs are a lot wider. They seem like they're twice the width, twice the length, where you can just like point it and just keep picking up speed. Where in Steamboat, you're like, oh shit, there's moguls through here. So yes, I'm pointing it, but I'm not as fast as I could be.
Right. Yeah.
Which is awesome.
So yeah, no, that's why I'd go digging. All right. We got crews so close to being validated. Is there a difference between the 24 and 25? Oh my God, they completely revamped it. It's a completely different board. This new Assassin Pro is literally the best version of it that's come out. Hold off on buying one just yet, because the Assassin Pro review drops. Let me check. I can tell you right
next week, I believe.
It might be this weekend.
Could be.
Might be tomorrow. I can't remember what I've got scheduled.
It is not tomorrow.
No, tomorrow's the Almanac. The regular Assassin is on the 9th, not the Assassin Pro. I haven't scheduled the Assassin Pro yet. My bad. But it's coming. But yeah, it's a completely different board. Completely different. So. All right. We got Stephen Greenwood riding a 154 LibTech box knife. Dig the camber profile, but want something a bit more stiff, yet not all mountain. So you just want a stiffer twin. That's all. Check out the LibTech Rad Ripper. You'll be way more stoked on that. But if you do have the box knife, that's C3. So what the hell? What the hell did they even make this? Is it the Legitimizer? No, that's Cam Rocker. Because that's what replaces that, and that board's ass. That thing rides like a dead turd. Honestly, man, if you want something that's a little stiffer,
Wouldn't the
it's
headspace
close
be?
to it profile, you need to check out the Huck knife
Yeah, that's fair.
from Solomon. That's all right. Eric Meiselus, gentlemen, how do you tell when a board is done? Lay it flat on your table and look and see if there's any camber left in it. If that thing's flat, it's there. If you go to try to ollie a slow sign and you find that you're sucking your knees to your ears, probably clapped.
Yeah. If your edge is exploded or there's just barely any life to actually throw an edge on it, it's time.
Yeah.
If
it's got more
if you go to press
in gouges than it does original base, it's time.
If you go to press into it and it does not give any pop on the way out and just wants to sit back down, it's probably time. Well, I should say if it has camber, then it's time.
It remembers the Obama administration's first term.
Yes. If the top sheet is faded, it's time. Because then the whole core is just shot on it because all of that sun on there, heating it up, softening everything, it's time.
All right. We do have a thank you super chat from Cole Buchanan. Have been crazy busy with work all summer, so missed a lot of live streams. Just wanted to say thank you for the winter stick. This is a man that won in the game of Snowboard for the summer, which there's 3 boards that still have to go out from that. I'm trying to find thinner board boxes. All I've got is the jumbo thick ones for like 10 boards. And I'm like, you got any at your house?
I have a Signal one.
Sweet. I'll take it.
And I also have that jacket as well for that gentleman.
Nice.
With the fire.
For the fire.
Yeah, I'll bring you that Signal next week. Or this week, who knows? Probably next.
I mean, week's basically over. My parents show up tomorrow.
Yeah, I know. I was going to say your family's in town, so.
Yeah. Okay, we got Orlando Arlano. Recommend me a board and size. Parker Rider jumps and rails, 125 pounds, 5'3", Hobbit 40s, size 7 boot. Currently riding a Huck knife. Well, you're on a good board, man.
I was going to say ride kink.
Yeah, I mean, at 125, yeah. I mean, even a 0 would be good.
Yeah.
A little more carbon in there for you. Let's see, what else? Rosinal Retox, Arbor Metal Machine.
Is the Nitro T1, is that twin or is that directional twin?
It's twin. You can do that. Then? You can do a T1. You could do a Cinema from Nitro too. That's a good one. I like that. Cinema's fun. If you're looking at Rome, I would probably do an Artifact Pro, maybe an Agent. You got options.
Mm-hmm.
Nick Larson says, I'm 6'2", 220 pounds of pure anger, looking for the best board to spray skier families. Mountain Pig. You get that split in the tail. That really helps with the torque.
Yeah. Try to think what it is. Yeah, I mean, that Mountain Pig is probably going to be your best option.
Yeah.
What was didn't Spring Break make one called like the Powder Hole or whatever that just had a hole in the back, so when you'd ride over shit, it would just shoot rooster tail? If you could find one of those, that would be awesome. And they could just ride.
They'll break it. It had a Bolsa core.
Oh, okay.
I'm pretty sure that had the Bolsa Polonia core. So
don't do anything extreme on it. Just ride it.
Don't get too gnarly for your own good. All right, so we got KLM and Clementine here. Just wanted to throw cash. Love your way. Curious what would happen if I put myself on a GNU Gremlin. Early intermediate rider, not too comfortable with high speed, not great at carving. Just you don't want to. You don't have the fundamentals to fully get what you want out of that board. Stick with what you've got. there's a big thing with people, and I know that we're guilty because of the way we do things. It makes you want to buy everything. But there's a lot of people that should probably try to get 50 to 100 days out of one board before they buy anything else. Like just fully concentrate on fundamentals. Like when I was a kid, man, you had one board and you had to make it fucking work. And if it sucked at one thing, you just learned how to deal with it sucking. And that was it. And then the next season, you sold that board to buy the next board and made that incremental jump. And now people are like willy-nilly buying shit, which is fine. I don't have a problem with that, but try to buy towards your ability and where you're going to learn. So, all right. Let's see. We're going to start winding this down. So I really want to try to get the last one, get the last few ones in. All right. We'll take Martin Vestergaard. Have you guys checked out the 2000 or the 2025 Jones Storm Chaser? Yep, there's a review coming. Worth getting now. Now it's got Camber. Oh yeah. I have a twin pig and need a powder carver board. There you go. You're good. Mm-hmm. If you want something stiffer though, then you go with the Storm Wolf. Storm Wolf's a little better on edge, personally. It's just it's a little more zippy out of a turn. Let's see. Looking for stuff. All right. Got this super chat from Sam S. Picked up a Rome Renegade pair with a Union Beyond Metals Atlas base plus Strata Highback, old Team Force or Ultra, or sell old forces and sell the old forces and get the new ones.
Yeah, do that. Do that. 100%. Because your Beyond Metal Unions are, very similar to like an Ultra, I would say. So you should definitely go with the Force. It's a great binding. Love that binding.
Yep. All right, we got this one from Michael Seifert. Opinion on becoming a regular groomer at a resort in Summit County. Say goodbye to your social life, and you're going to have the weirdest circadian rhythm because you're grooming at night. So that's a whole thing too.
You're going to see some weird shit on that mountain.
Yep. Yeah. Yep. That's kind of where. Ooh. All right. Let's see. And we got a PSA super chat from BCMs. Ride Beaver Creek. Enjoy the fresh groomers. And you get fresh baked cookies at the end of the day.
You do.
You do.
That place rocks. And you get to admire all the old ladies with the fur.
Let's see. I think we're I know we skipped a bunch of stuff, but we was trying to catch up. And anyways, we've been here almost 2 hours, so we want to get out of here. I want to eat. I'm hungry. I'm hungry. I got to walk my dog. I want to eat. And you got to figure out. I want to play some Helldivers. I've also got to finish editing a video on how to set up your Felcore bindings for the new Felcore, because that review is coming out. So I want to make sure that video is done.
And it's football tonight. I know you're about this.
Yeah, Bobby Boucher. So, anyways, but we're going to get out of here, guys. We'll be back next week with another live stream. Remember, we're doing every third Thursday. We'll bring the wheel. It's going to be open to the people, to the public. We're going to make it fucking chaotic when we do it. So it's like it's going to be a chaos thing. There's going to be a lot of prizes and stuff, but it's going to be well worth it. We just wanted to answer more questions, especially this time of the year with what we've got going on with everything. So there's that. Remember to check out the Cultural Mystery link down below. I think you guys will be stoked on it. Video season's about to start. If you're shopping online, click the affiliate links. And remember, don't pet TC's mustache.
And, Thanks, guys.
We'll see you in another video.